Good evening, pickleball fans across Europe and beyond. I'm Nick Hobbis and welcome to this exclusive live preview of the RTA2000 Top Pickleball Open, coming to you from Stuttgart, Germany, July the 4th to July the 6th. The action gets underway tomorrow. This is a marquee stop on the road to Aalborg and promises top tier action with elite level athletes battling it out across 5 stacked divisions. We're live right now. We'd love for you to get involved. Comment in the YouTube section below with your predictions, questions for our panel, or simply where you're watching from this evening. Let's introduce our guests for this evening, because joining me tonight for insight, expertise and insider knowledge, we've got the very best of European pickleball, starting off with Sam Basford, head coach of the English team, who won the 2024 European Championships and the official RTA Tour commentator, no less. Sam, it's great to have you with us. Good evening.
Good evening, Nick. Looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be a bit of a fireworks sort of tournament, so excited to preview it and then see how it goes.
Fireworks all the way, and we're getting off with a bang here this evening. Next up, we've got the main man himself, the mastermind behind the tournament, Max Schmitt, tournament director in Stuttgart, responsible for organising one of the biggest events on the calendar. Max, good evening to you.
Good evening, nice to meet you.
Great to have you with us, Max. And then on to our 3 incredible players, starting off with one of the superstars in her own right, Karolina Owczarek, the #1 player on the road to Aalborg women's doubles leaderboard, and #5 in singles, the best of the very best. Karolina, good evening.
Good evening. Looking forward for a talk as well as for the tournament.
Yeah, it's great to have you with us, Karolina. We can't wait to hear your insights as we break the divisions down shortly. Next up, it's Poland's finest and a dominant figure on the global pickleball stage. One of the top players on the continent, Mateusz Matysik. Mateusz, good evening to you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm super happy to win this tournament. Hopefully, I'm going to do my best and can't wait to start playing tomorrow.
Great ambition from a great man early on in the preview. He's here to win. Mateusz is going for gold already, and we've only just started. Finally, Julien Platel, a global ambassador for the sport, leading the growth of pickleball through his French roots and expanding it across Europe. Julien, it's great to have you with us. How are you? Where are you joining us from?
Yeah, good evening. Great to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
Great to have you with us, Julien. So let's set the scene for what's going to be an incredible weekend. So Max, before we jump into each event, there's no better person here on the preview to set the scene for us. So tell us, what makes Stuttgart such a key stop on the road to Aalborg Tour?
Yes, I think with our 6 outdoor and 4 official indoor pickleball courts, we are one of the bigger pickleball facilities in Central Europe. And I think this is an exceptional setup for the best players in Europe to compete, to train, and also to connect.
Yeah.
And our plan over the weekend is that the players could practice, could play, even if they lose early. They can practice all over the day on our indoor courts. The tournament is held outdoor, but the indoor courts are open for everybody to play as much pickleball as they want. And create unforgettable memories.
Sounds absolutely fantastic, Matt. So just give us some kind of insights from a logistical perspective. What goes into delivering a 2,000-point event in a bustling city like Stuttgart? And what can players and spectators especially expect this weekend?
Yes, over the past 2 years since we opened our pickleball courts, we've built a strong and passionate pickleball community, and they can't wait to see Europe's best players here alive in action. And they want to learn from them, they want to get inspired, maybe they want to talk and get some tips from them and bring their own game to the next level. And that's also a point why we connected an amateur event to the pro event, that the people can really, take something from the event for their personal game. And I think our community will bring energy, they will create an unforgettable atmosphere for the pros. And I think it will be a huge fun for everybody.
It sounds really exciting, Max. And you reference the high quality players who are on show the weekend, not least the 3 players with us this evening. But how important is your relationship with the RTA in being able to get players on board, attract players to Stuttgart? Because one of the headline features this weekend is we're led to believe this is the highest standard of pickleball in terms of players that have been amassed together to perform across all divisions. This is the highest standard we've seen this year. So how important is your relationship with the RTA in being able to attract players to the events?
I think it's the RTA series is the biggest tournament series in Europe at the moment. And first, it's a great honor for us to host a series like this in our facility. And I know Marcus and Laura since, I think, a little bit more than a year, through the connection of Viola from Turkey. And I think it's not so easy to find us on the landscape of pickleball, because at the moment the pickleball scene is growing fast in Europe, but I think it's so important to have a big name like the RTA Tour to attract the players to come to Stuttgart.
And Sam, if I can just come to you, this is clearly an event that has attracted the biggest names across Europe, and we referenced the highest standard. Is that an indicator of the developments that RTA have made and how they've enhanced the tour for this season?
Yeah, absolutely. I think
yes, for sure. I think our last event was in October 24. I think it was October 24, our event, the last RTA event, and since then, I think so many things changed. It's getting more and more professional in huge steps. The number of players increased, I think, 3 or 4 times more players than last time. So the development is huge.
Yeah, Max, you're that enthusiastic. You answered Sam's question, so thanks for that. It's nice to see. Sam, have you got anything to add on to that?
Yeah, for sure. First of all, Max, perfect answer, I think. But just following on from that, we've seen pickleball develop over the last 12-18 months in Europe, and the RTA, I think, has been a bit of a tentpole feature. And is now one of those things that players always look to. So, you're always going to start seeing these names reappear in these tournaments, which I think is great for the competition side of things and the level of competition, but also starting to build out a bit more of a structure for European pickleball, which I think is really important moving forwards.
Yeah, no, I agree, Sam. And Karolina, if I could just get a player's perspective, before we move on to look at our women's singles draw, is the fact that the facilities over there in Stuttgart so good, and the fact that this is an RTA 2000 event, an even bigger draw for you as a player?
So personally, I think it's a combination of those two. I played last year, October, and it was a really, really great tournament. Playing on dedicated courts is always a plus, and this is 2,000 points, so you cannot miss it in the tour.
Yeah, no, it sounds absolutely fantastic, and we congratulate Max and his team in advance of putting on one of the showpiece events of the year. But let's move on to the brackets and let's talk about some of the entries and rankings. We're going to start with the women's singles, which will take place on Sunday this weekend, which will be fast-paced and fiercely contested. On your screens now, you'll see the current Road to Arlberg rankings for women's singles. And our friend of the show there, Karolina, currently sits in number 5 place. But top of the tree, it's Clara Thalentorp from Sweden, shortly followed by Thadia Locke and then Molly Nags. Marta Zajic, who we had on last time, sitting in 4th place. Lots of big names all fighting and scrambling to be top of the tree. How does that transfer into the seedings for this weekend? Well, Thadia will be arriving in Germany. Thadia Locke takes the number 1 seed for the singles. Another friend of the show, Pia-Lena Ander, makes her way over from Sweden. Karolina sits in at number 3 for the seedings this weekend. Clara in at number 4. And then Eleanor Tompkinson, who's fresh off the back of a victory in her English Nationals singles. She's also in action. So, Karolina, as ranked number 5, how do you manage the physical and mental shift from doubles to singles and vice versa? And who are your biggest rivals this weekend?
So when it comes to the first question, it's always dependent on the tournament, because when we start with singles, I'm not sure if I like it, because then my body is very, very tired for doubles and mixed. But of course, when we finish with singles, then you're done after playing with your partner for such a long time. And I believe Basti said that, and it's a citation of my doubles partner, that when singles are the last day, you kind of feel alone after those 2 days with like working together. So it's always like mentally tough, I believe. But you have to manage. You have to adjust. And when it comes to my biggest rivals, it's probably gonna be, as always, Clara and Taria. This is what I see. But also we have to, I'm looking at the draw right now, and there is Pia-Lena. She's back. I believe her last tournament, her last match was actually with me in New Shopping. 3 sets battle. We also have Marta. So our Polish representative, and I believe she's gonna do great as well. But I hope I'm gonna be standing at the highest podium.
Yeah, we hope so too, Karolina. Mateusz, anyone from Paris or Rota that you've spotted in the singles that could make a surprise breakthrough here this weekend?
Definitely, we have a couple of options. So, obviously, I have to say the Polish girls, which is Karolina and Marta. But yeah, Ellie's also doing good. We have many women that can do really well. I wasn't exactly in Rota, so I can't say too much about who was playing well there. But yeah, even right now, I'm watching Maria, the Spanish one. So they're all doing really well, I believe, and yeah, anybody can win. And also, I have to say, Pia. I haven't seen Pia for a long time, so I'm rooting for Pia, and hopefully she's going to do well.
Yeah, it's great to see Pia Ander back in action. Sam, are there any specific trends in women's singles that you think will maybe define the winner in Stuttgart, or any changing trends that we've seen throughout the first part of the season?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, I think it's always conditions dependent, and a lot of time dependent on the the ball and the speed of the court as well. So different conditions always suit different players. At times you'd prefer a really strong, to use a tennis phrase, baseliner, who can, and Ellie is probably a great example of that. Her ground strokes have come on so well that, at the baseline, there's not many people who can sort of out hit her. But equally, and I think we've got a really good person on the call for this, Karolina is probably a great example of someone who has a really good full court game and actually getting into the net a lot more often. Thadio is another good example of someone who loves to come forward. And I think it just depends on, the given tournament, the given weekend, the conditions as to which play style that plays into more and which ones sort of, have to adjust their game in order to match the others.
Yeah, no, I agree. Those outdoor conditions critical to the success of some players this weekend. Julien, which players in the women's singles bracket have that X factor to go deep, in your opinion? And especially those players from France. Are there any players from France that we should be watching out for this weekend?
This weekend, I think we have no one from France in the women's single bracket. I'm not sure if Adeline is playing the single. I don't know, maybe not. I think she doesn't play it, but I think we have to watch out for Ellie because she has done recently a good tournament in UK, and then as you all said, Pia is coming back, and then the bracket is pretty tough. Karolina, of course, and let's see, but yeah, tough bracket for sure.
Yeah, it's a highly competitive bracket. And Max, you've switched things around compared to other RTA events that we've seen this year. Those singles taking place on the Sunday. Is that in an effort to manage players' schedules to keep them fresh and competitive?
Maybe it was a little bit a decision out of the experience of last year, where many players want to leave early on Sunday because they have an early flight. And it was my thought to play singles because maybe the competition will run a little bit faster than a mixed doubles competition. So that was our decision to play singles on Sunday.
Right, yeah. So more to do with managing players' schedules pre and post event,
Yes.
which seems incredibly wise and helpful for players, I'm sure. Right, prediction time then. If you're new to the show, we give out a prediction for each bracket, each event. You're going to have to come up with one name. And Karolina, if it's not you standing on the podium, who will it be?
If it's not me, then it could be Tadia or
Right,
Clara.
okay. Yeah, fair enough. But you hope it's you. You're planning on it being you, right?
Yeah, I hope it's gonna be me, honestly. I'm really pumped for this tournament.
Yeah, Karolina, just on that very briefly, have you been preparing more for singles ahead of this tournament? Or has your focus just been on doubles, or do you do a bit of both? What's your preparation been like coming into this tournament?
Actually, I just recently came back from China. I played 2 tournaments there, did very well. So that was kind of my preparation. Of course, like gym in the meantime, but like we always do both. So we play singles as well as doubles. We try to always play everything at one training. So like standard preparation.
So you're ready. You're ready for action. Good. Mateusz, who's taking home the 2000 ranking points from Stuttgart in women's singles?
For me, it's definitely the 2 Polish ones in the podium, so it's going to be Karolina and Marta, and also I would say third place, I will go with Fadia.
Gone for
So that's
all
that's
3
my top 3.
podium finishes. Mateusz, not just the gold medal analyst, but silver and bronze as well. And Julien, for you, who's taking home the 2000?
For me, it's Caro in the first place, then Tadej and Clara for me. I think
All
it will
3
be
podiums as well, the
that's
man
my first.
himself. Awesome. And Sam, your predictions for this weekend on Sunday? Who's going to be lifting that gold medal trophy from the women's singles division?
Yeah, I think it's a similar story, all the same names, but I'm going to go. I've got faith in Karolina, so I'm going to go for Karolina, and then I'm also going to back Ellie for a podium finish as well.
Perfect. And Max, are you going to provide us with a prediction as tournament director, or are you going to sit on the fence?
As tournament director, I have to be neutral like Switzerland, but I don't want to build too much pressure on Carol, but I will go for Carol because I love her attitude on the court. So would be fun to see her deep into the draw and maybe win. Yeah.
Awesome. We've all got supporters, haven't we? We've all got supporters, which is nice. Right, let's move on to our men's singles now. Again, this will be on Sunday. Elite one-on-one matchups, physical intensity and precision under pressure. I am sure the current year rankings are on your screen for that road to Aalborg, and James Chowdhury sits in the number one spot on 2,600 points, shortly followed by Bartosz Kabaushnik, Balint Bako in at number 3, but some big names all the way down on that list, such as Ignacy, Pep, Stefan, Theo, Julien, your brother makes the list as well, all fighting to be in Aalborg in December. How does that translate to our seedings for this event? And like we referenced earlier with Max, we've attracted the very best here because Ignacy de Ruida comes in at number 1 with a Duva of 5.692. Pet Cañadal, strong for Spanish here in at 1 and 2. Balint Bako, representing Hungary, in at 3. Stefan Goodmuller, another friend of the show, in at 4. And Mauro Garcia finishes our top 5 entries off. So, Mateusz, you're no stranger to singles success. Just talk to us about your mindset heading into this one, the weekend. Who's your biggest rival based upon previous experience? And how has your preparation gone in readiness for Sunday?
Yeah, so first thing, I'm very sad that singles is on Sunday. I would love to play singles tomorrow. That's definitely something that has to be improved. Just Friday singles always, that's the best thing, because then everybody's tired for the next days. So, we start with singles and then everybody's dying on Saturday. Yeah,
Karolina's shaking her head. There's a disagreement here, Mateusz.
Yeah, okay, but now to be that serious, yeah, like the draw is super packed. I'm not seeded because I haven't played too many tournaments this year, like RTA, especially. Yeah, because like due to my high school exams, I was all the time in the training mode, but I couldn't travel too much to play tournaments. So yeah, lots of gym, lots of intervals. That's definitely something I was doing, and I'm happy to start out playing on Sunday. But like the biggest rival, definitely I wanna say Mauro. Mauro is definitely someone I've played too many times, lost too many times, and definitely that's gonna be a fun match.
That's interesting, Mateusz, because if I look at the list, you're in at 5.4 on the Dupa, and so's Mauro. So it appears that you're closely matched.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how accurate the duper is, but definitely the level is very close. Like all of us, even Ignacy, Bako, everybody's playing really well. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, no, we wish you all the very best for that. Sam, in terms of tactical trends in the men's game, has there been any significant changes this year? Are people still looking to hit that ball as hard as ever in the singles game and get to the kitchen line? Or has there been a bit of a trend change as the season's gone on?
Yeah, I think it's almost similar to what we said earlier with the women's singles. Traditionally you have a lot of men moving forward as early as they can in the point, and depending on where you're at and the conditions you're playing in, You're starting to see a little bit more baseline to baseline play in the men's singles. Some of these players now that are coming through, their ability to hit passing shots is so strong that players can be a little bit more reserved coming forward so early in the point. But I think it's the same as it always is, conditions dependent. How windy is it? How warm is it? How soft does the ball go? Are all factors that are really crucial for singles.
And Sam, just talk to us again for those viewers at home who may not have experienced singles play before. How critical is that serve in return in terms of point construction in the singles format of the game?
Yeah, huge. You've got the full court to work with, and you've got a lot more court to aim into than you usually do. So setting up the point from the get-go is really important. It can put you on the front foot straight away in singles, whilst doubles you'll always typically find, you might win a few points off the serve, but majority will come back, and majority of the time you'll end up in the same formation once you get to that third shot of the rally. So in singles, it's really an opportunity to get on the front foot, and especially with the scoring system, it's so momentum driven. You often see singles games just run away from people so fast. 100%. It's one of your favorites, I think, Nick. Serves, returns, and thirds is the crucial thing.
Yeah, that's my famous phrase from commentary: serves, returns, and thirds. 3 crucial shots. Julien, you're not playing this weekend. Why ever not? Is my question to you.
No, I knew you will never see me on the court by myself alone. I will always play with someone. I never play by myself on single. Yeah, single is not my thing. It's too much running, I think. Too much effort. And then, as you said, if you want to play it on Friday, I cannot commit for the Saturday and Sunday then. So you will not see me on the single.
Julien, it's my intention to encourage you back onto that singles court at some point this year, especially how well you strike the ball, and at the tender age of 29 as well. Karolina, who in this division has the mental game to go all of the way?
So honestly, I looked at the list and I'm not sure if I can say, because there is so many good players. So I saw the performance of Palint of Paco in China, which was pretty outstanding. We have Ignazi and we have Pep, the 2 Spanish fire guys from the Diadem team. We have Mati going back on tour, also really great singles player. We also have Mauro and James. So as I said, I can tell you who's gonna be in the quarters, but who's gonna be in the final, I have no idea, honestly. It's gonna be very much dependent also on the conditions, because we play with the Diadem Bowl, which is, I feel like it's a little bit harder than Franklin. That's the first thing. The second thing, the courts are located. I feel like there is it's a little bit windy, so depending who's gonna be more stable in those conditions is gonna say who's gonna win. But overall, the men's singles level is great. It's really great. But I hope that Polish guys are gonna do well. So Paweł and Mikołaj. Unfortunately, Paweł meets Mateusz in the first round, so one of the guys has to fight in the loser bracket. But I will keep my fingers crossed.
Yeah, something to look forward to, that's for sure, that Polish encounter in round 1. Max, are there any exciting entries from the home nation over there in Germany that just catches the eye? Any insight you can give us on any of the German players?
Oh yeah, I'm curious about Leonard Heading. He was guest on our last year's pickleball party last summer, and I think he improved as a player a lot since our last meeting. And yeah, I'm really curious how he's performing in such a strong field. So yeah, I'm excited about it. Yeah.
No, absolutely fantastic. Right, let's get some predictions before we look forward to the doubles action then. Sam, who's going to be standing at the top of the podium on Sunday with a men's gold medal around their neck?
it's as Karolina said, you know, I feel pretty confident going up into a certain point, but to pick a winner is really, really tricky. But I think Pep so far has been in such good form these last few tournaments. You know, performed well at the recent Spanish Open in Malaga. So very hesitantly, I'm going to go with Pep.
Awesome. And Julien, I presume you're going to be backing your brother, Theo. Is that right?
Yeah. I will cheer for Theo, of course.
That's your top tip, yeah?
Yeah.
Perfect. I love that. Family loyalty. Keep it in
Every
the family. Mateusz, of course, the same question to you. If you're not still on the top of the podium, and we hope you are, my friend, who will be?
I said earlier, I'm going to say Josh Bright and Stefan Grubmuller. That's my prediction.
Stefan Grubmuller, friend of the show. We hope he does well as well. And Josh Bright, an upcoming start here from the UK. Karolina, you've got to give me one name, please. One name.
That's so tough because I already forgot to say in the previous one also to mention Theo and Stefan because they're really good players as well. But I think I would. I hope that it's gonna be one of the Polish guys. But if not one of the Polish guys, I would go probably with Pep as well, just because how he performed in the past few tournaments, and I saw him in the raw top beating, having some like really good wins. For example, the one over Will Sobeck, so the really good one. Exactly as Sam, very hesitantly, but I'm gonna say it can be Pep or one of the Polish guys.
Fantastic. And Max, from you, have you got any favourites that you'll be supporting here?
I support all the players and the same, but I saw Mateusz playing last year, and yeah, I think his left forehand and his athletic is amazing. So I think he will have a good chance.
Max, you could probably get a job at the United Nations as well as tournament director over there in Stuttgart. Right, let's move on to our women's doubles. It's Super Saturday over in Stuttgart. We're going to dive into a stacked division that's got lots of talent and tactical intensity on display. Let's have a look at the current rankings on the road to Aalborg. And Karolina is number one. Look how happy she is with that. 3,600 points, 1,200 points ahead of Thadia Locke in number two. And Karolina is steamrolling the women's division here. She's over the moon with that. Caroline Nothnagel, Karolina's partner for this weekend, in third place. And then we've got Sarah Tsukamoto, Alma Thal Lentorp, Clara Thal Lentorp as well. Molly Naggs, Sabrina Mendez, Marta Zajak, and Adeline Nugent. How does that affect the entries for this weekend in Stuttgart? Well, teaming up are your gold medalists from Paris, Maria Costantino and Thadia Locke. They will come in as the number one seeds. As I referenced a moment ago, Karolina and Caroline. Will it be sweet Caroline for them this weekend? Will they be able to take home the gold medal? The Swedish pickleball twins and global superstars, the Lentorps, they're in at number 3. And then we've got Dorota Krzyzlibskia, if I've announced that correctly, and Sheila Dominguez in at number 4, and Claudia Kemal and Sarah Chamilas leading for Spain in at number 5. So we're going to start with you, Karolina. You must be over the moon with your performances so far this season. Does that put a target on your back and bring extra expectations going into the weekend? And what makes your partnership with Caroline so special? Is your goal this weekend the gold medal?
So when it comes to ranking, it doesn't put any specific expectations on me because I always have the same expectation on myself, just to play my best and control what's under my control. So honestly, it doesn't put any special pressure on me. But definitely, I'm really happy and looking forward to play again with Caroline because we had 4 tournaments break to all road to Aalborg tournaments break, and I'm really happy to be back with Caro. Definitely, I feel like the chemistry that we are also good friends off the court. I believe that makes it very special. And our pairing up was so random, and but it turned out to be really great. And I'm happy to play with Caro again. Definitely.
Yeah, no, you're a fantastic partnership who bring great entertainment to spectators. Sam, from a coaching standpoint, any particular partnerships or individuals that are pairing up for the first time here this weekend that have looked strong? And who are the trending upward teams?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting women's draw. You've got a couple of pairs who have played together a lot. Karolina and Caro, Alma and Clara are another one who always cause problems for people. And then you've got, as you said, number 1 seeds, gold in Paris, Thadia and Maria. Maria coming back from, quite a long stint out from injury, but sort of came straight back in Paris and showed that, she can just assume that level again straight away. So for me, it's definitely, one of those 3 teams. The sneak attack, I think, is, again, their names that have been mentioned already, but I think Ellie is pairing up with Marta, which again has the potential to rock the boat. So I'm excited to see how those guys do.
And Sam, you will have some knowledge on this player in particular who's travelling over from Ireland. Just give us some information on Gracie Hamilton, who quite possibly one of the youngest players in the draw, maybe.
Yeah, Gracie's definitely, someone who works incredibly hard on her game. She's just come into the main UK league, the Premier Pickleball League. So, and luckily for me, she's on my team. So I'm excited for her to develop this year. And, she's got great attitude, great personality on court, and definitely one that I think people enjoy watching. So, playing up in the open category is something that's relatively new for her, but she's got a solid partner by her side in Emma. They make a good pair together. So yeah, always got the capability to put in a surprise result.
Fantastic. And Max, in terms of headline acts for Germany this weekend, who are the standout stars here? Who will be supported most by the locals?
I think many of our players saw Tadea playing last year, and maybe I think she was second last year, and I think Caro won it, and I think they will support Tadea because they know her from last year, and also Caro because she was also playing on our league this year, so they will know Caro as well from some games, and I think they will cheer for Caro.
Yeah, fantastic. And Mateusz, are there any
players from German Caro?
Yeah. Are there any players, Matthews, who we've not referenced on the ranking list who could launch a surprise here this weekend?
I think nobody mentioned Ellie and Marta. That's a pairing you should look out for because I'm playing mixed doubles with Ellie in the Polish Open. She's definitely a player to look out for, and they can definitely beat the top pairings. They can beat Karolina, but Karolina's also like both Karolinas are playing really well. Fadia can win, but yeah, I think Ellie Marta is definitely a pairing that can do well.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Julien, from your perspective, just give us some insight into some of those French players this weekend that could make a significant contribution and perhaps take away a fair proportion of the 2,000 ranking points on offer?
Yeah, so we start to have a good player in France like Adeline, Anaïs, Elodie. Unfortunately, Elodie is injured, so she cannot commit. So she has been injured like 2 weekends ago. We were in the French Open in Aix-en-Provence in the south of France. So yeah, unfortunately she cannot commit. So I think Adeline is playing with Maria Pintor, I guess. So let's see for the new partnership. Let's see what is gonna happen. But my heart is with the team diadem, the Caros, of course. But we have to be careful with Maria and Tadea. They know each other since a long time, even if Maria is coming back after 18 months, I guess. But it's a solid pair, so we have to be careful with this pair too.
Yeah, no, definitely. And if you had to pick one team, Julien, that were going to be the winners this weekend, who is that team for you?
The Caros, Team Diadem, of course.
Fantastic, Team Diadem. Yeah, great. And Sam, for you, who are the team that are most likely to take away the 2,000 points this weekend?
Yeah, I'm just siding for Thadia and Maria, I think.
Mateusz, are you going to stick with your Polish counterpart, or are you going elsewhere?
I'm gonna go gold for Faria and Maria. I'm gonna go silver for Vicaros and bronze for Ellie and Marta.
Fantastic. And Max, for you, obviously supporting the whole field as you told us last time, but any standouts?
Yeah, I will go for the two Caros.
Two Caros as well. Awesome. Right. Well, that's the women's doubles predictions over with. Let's move on to the men's doubles. Also on Saturday, big hits, lightning reflexes, and high level strategy on full display. Let's take a quick look at the road to Aalborg standings as they currently are. We've got Arvid Darlin in first place. Felix Grunert there in second. Theo Platel in third. And then we've got big name players aplenty. Once more, Chowdhury, Kenyadal, Peltier, Garcia, Deruda, Kabosnik, and Perez. In terms of entries for this weekend, what do the top 5 seeds look like? And Ben Corsten is over in Germany for this event, teaming up with Theo Platel. They come in as number 1 seeds. Mateusz and James Chowdhury, what a partnership, and we'll get Mateusz's thoughts on that shortly. Stefan Halen and Arvid Darlin at number 3. Basti and Felix, the great German partnership, in at number 4 to give the home crowd watchers something to cheer for, and the Spanish pairing of Ignacy and Pep. So, Mateusz, let's start with you, because what a partnership that is. Excitement all the way. How excited are you for that event on Saturday, playing with James Chowdhury, and what can we expect from the partnership?
Yeah, I just can't wait to play with James. He's such an amazing player. You know, even his Drupal 6.2 shows that he's just a super good player. He plays the left. For me, it's perfect because I'm a right side player. So since, I stopped playing that much with Bartosz, I was, trying to figure out some partners in Sweden. I'm going to play again with someone else, Polish Open. I'll go back to Bartosz. But here, first time playing with James. We'll see how we will figure out the middle. I think that's going to be something we both like, getting lots of space in the middle. So we'll see how it's going to work out. Yeah, we'll see.
And Mateusz, just talk to us again for those that may not know. How does that partnership come about? Is that a case of you picking up the phone and giving James a call? Would James talk to you at previous events? How has that partnership come together?
I was looking for a partner for Stuttgart, and I was like, everybody was taken. So I said, okay, I'm gonna text James. I was asking him for a different tournament, but it wasn't exactly for Stuttgart. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna text James, and he said, he can't play that tournament. I think that was Rota, and he said, so let's play Stuttgart, and this is how we're playing together.
Yeah, and it's a really exciting partnership, that's for sure. Will you get an opportunity to have a hit with James before Saturday, or will you just be going in fresh and taking it as it comes?
I definitely would love to play with him tomorrow if this is possible. He's arriving, I believe, today at night, so today there's no option, but hopefully tomorrow I get to play with him a bit.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, we wish you every little bit of success there, Mateusz, playing with James. And Max, from your perspective, there's a real buzz about this division, especially from the home contingent with Basti and Felix playing on home soil. Does that create a great atmosphere for you there at Top Stuttgart? You're on mute, Max. We'd love to hear you, but you're on mute, my friend. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. In February, Basti and Felix held a clinic with our community, and so many of our players know them, and I think they will cheer for them because they had great experience in February with them. So I think they will be the hot picks from our community.
Yeah, no, absolutely fantastic. We can't wait to see them in action and bring the joys to the crowds and the onlookers there in Stuttgart. Julien, you've taken on pretty much all of these players during your career, but your chemistry with Boris seems to be developing quite well. Just talk to us about that partnership with Boris and how that's developed over recent months.
Yeah, so Boris and me are good friends outside of the court. As Karol said, it's maybe something important to have a good partnership on the court. So let's see, it's the first tournament we play together. So I hope for good results. Let's see. But I'm confident with Boris. We played 2 games today against KO and Ben. So it was okay. Let's see.
Yeah, so you're confident in your preparation, you're feeling good, you're feeling strong. Are you likely to play on the left side, the right side? Will you stack? Have you had those discussions already?
Yeah. I will play on the left side. So Boris is the lefty, so that's good for him. I can take the left side and then let's see.
Yeah, sounds...
My backhand dink, let's see.
Yeah, no, sounds perfect, Julien. And once more, we wish you every little bit of success as well. Let's switch to Karolina here, who might have a neutral perspective. No, Karolina's gone. She's disappeared early. Maybe she's gone for some early practice. So we'll come to you, Sam. Are there any pairings that have stood out to you in the early part of this season?
Yeah, I think, you've got the ones that we all know who have done well so far. Pep and Ignazi have, proved to be a really strong pair. You've got Basti and Felix, who everyone knows is always going to be a tough match. But equally, I think I'm more excited for the newer pairs, or the ones we haven't seen so much of so far. Mateusz and James is a really interesting combination. And I also think Ben and Theo, I know they're down as #1 seeds. I'm not sure if they've played together before in a tournament or not, but I really like that dynamic, and I think there's a lot of potential with those guys. But even then, looking all the way down the list, you've got up and coming players and lots of talent. So it's not going to be an easy one regardless, I think.
No, 100%. And Sam, I'm going to ask you the question that I was going to ask Karolina. She's back. Have we got Karolina with us? She's back. Karolina, you're in and out frequently. It's almost like you're going to... She's gone again. Right, Sam, I'm asking you Karolina's question. who might be vulnerable under pressure this weekend when you look down the list of players? Does that relate to perhaps the age of players? Does that relate to inexperience, or does that relate to the players who are expected to do well? So my question to you is, who are the teams that might be vulnerable under pressure?
I think it's, there's an element of vulnerability for all teams in different regards. You've got, like you said, whether it's age and experience, or it might be things like a really strong existing partnership versus a new partnership. So I think all players and all teams have vulnerabilities in different ways. There's not going to be too many that are, so distinctly more vulnerable, I guess. And I think it will depend on what expectations players come in with versus, where the reality is for a lot of them. So, a lot of players walk in and don't think they're going to do very well, and all of a sudden they pick up and they get a couple of results, and life looks a lot different in the tournament versus the players that come in with sky high expectations and don't get quite the result they wanted in the first round. And there's always that added pressure. You go through the tournament, you get to the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, there's more people watching, there's less games going on, so the focus always comes onto you more. So I think I'll just be looking for, Mateusz has got a great partner for this in James. That level of experience can be so crucial in just reducing those elements of doubt and fear, and what happens when you get to 10-9-2 and you need to get your serve in and play a good point. It's typically experience that kicks in.
Yeah, no, experience matters a lot, that's for sure. Sam, we'll stick with you for your prediction. Give us the gold medal winners, the RTA2000 point collectors. Who are they going to be?
Well, it's a tough one. I'm going to go for Ben and Theo, I think.
Ben and Theo. Sam sticking with the number one seeds there. Karolina, welcome back. We hope you enjoyed your short break for tea. Could you tell us who the winners are going to be this weekend in the men's doubles division? We've been talking about that while you've been gone, you see.
Yeah, I know. I'm back. For me, that could be either Theo and Sven, but I would not underestimate the Spanish team that was also doing really great. So Pepe and Ignazi, and the new pairing of Mateusz and James. So I would focus on those like three teams. But I'm not sure who's gonna finish at the highest level of podium.
Well, I've got a tip. Julien, that's for sure. Julien and his partner Boris. Julien, if it's not you on that podium, who will it be?
Yeah, so if it's not me, safe guess than Caro. I think we have straight top seed, which are pretty good. So, but my guess is for Theo and Ben, and then Mateusz and James and Ignacy and Pep.
Yeah, fantastic. And Mateusz, if we can just come to you very quickly, who will win that gold medal? Who are you going to beat in the final, Mateusz?
I have to say Theo and Ben.
Theo and Ben, your biggest dangers, right?
Right. Yeah. Apart from Theo and Ben, I think there can be some surprises. For example, like Mauro and Yuri also, because Jesus pulled out, I believe. So Mauro's also very dangerous at times. So Julien and Boris, many pairings that can do really well.
Fantastic. Thanks, Mateusz. And Max, I presume you're cheering on Basti and Felix.
Yes, I will go for them.
I predicted it. There you go. You see, I predicted it. Who would have thought it? Yeah, no, great. Well done to you, Max. Right, let's move on to our final bracket then. It's the mixed doubles. That gets underway tomorrow. Live from Stuttgart. Mixed doubles, unpredictable, dynamic, and always entertaining. Let's have a look at the current Road to Arlberg rankings, which sees Alma Lentorp in at number 1, joint number 1 with Bartosz Kabaushnik, Pep Kenyadal in at number 3, Theo Platel from France in 4, Claudia Kemal in at number 5. Then we've got Grunert, Nothnego, Garcia, Anda, and Idestet in at number 10. How does that translate into the seedings for this weekend? And it's Maria Amaro who gets the number 1 entry, shortly followed by Chowdhury and Locke. We've got a couple of unfamiliar players here though, Este Widershoven and Luca Mack, followed by Karen Nothnego and Felix Grunert, Alma Lentorp and Theo Platel. So, Sam, mixed pairings bring unique coaching challenges. What are they? And then from a player's perspective, how important is pre-tournament strategy and understanding here?
Yeah, mixed is a really interesting one because it's a completely different dynamic to other doubles. I think all 3 doubles disciplines look completely different, and you have to explore them in a different way. So mixed on sort of the face of it, you have a very traditional style of, women tend to hit a lot more balls and the men tend to come across and take a few more balls, but there's a lot of players in here who will help to sort of buck that trend. So, for instance, as soon as you've got a left-handed man, the dynamic on the court completely changes. And I just love seeing teams adapt as they go. So strategy is super important. And I think a lot of these matchups, because they're so close in terms of level, will come down to which players on one side of the court understand the team they're playing against the best, how to play against them, rather than actually, there's one thing playing to your strengths, but almost the better thing to do in some cases is figure out what your opponent's weaknesses are and target those instead.
Yeah, no, definitely. And Karolina, you've played mixed at the elite level this season regularly. What makes the chemistry click with Pavel, and who are the teams that stand out as being your main competitors?
So me and Pavel, we play with each other. Like, we played the first international tournament in Belgium last year together, and we decided to pair up for this season. And I think we did pretty good. It clicked at the very beginning, and then we just had like a really great chemistry on a court. With the rivals, I mean, there was quite a few strong pairings in mixed, and I would start with Tadia and James, the classic one, I would say. They know each other really well. They played with each other, so I think they can be dangerous the way that they are not only good players, but they also know each other very well, so they know how to behave and how they play. I do not know the new guys, but I saw them. I saw them training today, and I think they can be dangerous as well. The guy from Belgium, Luke. The guy from Germany, I think his name is Luca, as you mentioned, and Este. She's Belgian. I'm also looking forward to see the pairing of Theo and Clara and Alma. That can be interesting one. But also of Mateusz and Adeline. Because Adeline rather play plays left side, so I think that can be also a very, very dangerous team. And of course, my lovely team, second team from Poznan, because we live in the same city. So Mikołaj and Marta Zając. I hope that those guys are gonna do well. And we had training yesterday. We had training today, and I have a lot of faith in four of us, and plus you, Mateusz, as well.
You've pretty much mentioned the whole list for us, Karolina, so thanks for that.
I'm far away from mentioning the whole list. There's like 32 teams.
Fantastic insight. No, thank you. Mateusz, let's switch to you then and talk about that partnership with Adeline from France. How has that developed, and what challenges does Adeline, preferring to play on the left-hand side, bring to you as a pairing?
You know, I always loved playing mixed because it kind of reminded me of singles. It's always, you know, going big on the serve, driving the thirds. So, as a right-sided player, you know, usually the right-sided players are always the ones defending. And as a lefty, it's completely different. So I get the men, you know, right in front of me. So it's going to be fun playing with her, you know. So many new pairings. I mean, first time playing with James, first time playing with Adeline. We'll see how it's going to work out. Unfortunately, I couldn't hit with her today too much, but yeah, hopefully tomorrow we can still get something for the first matches. And fun fact, if we manage to win the first round, we're going to play Karolina. So you should definitely, guys, go watch that match.
Yeah, that will be interesting, that's for sure. A great battle of Poland potentially in round 2. Julien, if I can come to you, I'm fascinated by the psychological aspects of you having to compete against your brother. Obviously, that will happen here. Explain your mindset going into that game. So I appreciate this may have happened many times before. Does that get easier? Does that get harder? Have you always got that desire to beat your brother? How does that feel?
So yeah, we competed a lot again, one against each other. So we played in France, of course. So we played against, I don't remember, I think in Sweden last time. So yeah, it's always something fun because I know him. So he knows me, of course, perfectly. So it's pretty great to play against him, and it's always fun. So we keep the good atmosphere on the court. So that's fine. That's fun.
No, that's fantastic. And you're partnering up with Helena Lundhammar from Sweden. It appears that you vary your partner in mixed doubles, possibly more than many other players. Is there any specific reason for that, and what are your expectations this weekend?
No, this is the first time I play with Helena. I played with lot of different people, of course. I have no fixed partner for the mix, so I am more men's double player than mixed. Of course, I'm a right side player, so the non-dominant side. I'm more defending and dinker, so yeah, I enjoy the mix, but like it's more fun and let's try something new for me because it's not my game in men's double, so it's totally different. So that's why I enjoy more and more tournaments after tournaments.
Well, we wish you all the very best tomorrow there. And Max, in terms of the standard in the mixed doubles, you must be overjoyed once more because this field has attracted at least 14 teams with a combined DUPA of above 10. So how do you feel about the overall strength of the field?
Yeah, as I said before, it's a big honor for us to host the best players in Europe and that we could attract them once again to Stuttgart. Yeah, that's especially big thanks also to Magnus that he creates such a great series, and yeah, we are totally proud that the players come back since our last tournament, and I think they loved it here, so happy about it.
And Max, can you give us a bit of an insight into Luka, Mac, who's playing this weekend with his partner Este Widershoven. Do you know much about those players?
No, not at all. So I saw him in the draw, but I couldn't say much about him. So I will be surprised.
A surprise for everybody there, which is
Hopefully.
fantastic. Right, it is the tournament this weekend, and this mixed doubles division gets us underway tomorrow. So let's see who are going to be the winning partnerships. I just need two names from you all very quickly. Sam, I'm coming to you first.
Yeah, it's like all the other ones, a really tough one to call. I'm going to go for Maria and Mauro for gold, but I just want to say those two new guys, Luca and Esti, both have PPA main draw experience coming into this, so I wouldn't put it past them to turn up and make a good run.
Yeah, some great insight there from Sam, if not sticking for the #1 seeds again for his selections. Always predictable, Sam Basford. And Karolina, for you, two names. If it's not you, who will it be?
If it's not me, then I would say Maria and Mauro as well. Saw them playing in China and played also against them. Incredible play. So could be Maria and Mauro.
Awesome. And Julien, again, the same question for you. Who are you defeating in the final with your partner?
I will say the newcomers like Luca and his partner from USA. Let's see. I didn't see them, but could be a good surprise.
Could be a good surprise. And Mateusz, after destroying Karolina in round 2, who are you going to beat in the final?
I saw the Americans. I'm going to call them Americans because they usually play in America. I saw them practice. They are really strong, so I think they can get to the final.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, that's a wrap on our RTA 2000 Stuttgart live preview. A huge thank you to our expert panel, Sam, Max, Karolina, Mateusz, and Julien. It's been a privilege to hear your insight. And for those of you playing this weekend, Mateusz, Julien, and Karolina, be the very best. 3 days of elite pickleball await us. And if previous RTA stops are anything to go by, we're in for a treat over in Stuttgart for the RTA 2000 event, where we wish Max and his team a great weekend. You can follow every moment through the live stream on Racket TV at live.raqt.tv. Results and rankings on play.rtapickleballtour.com. And don't forget to follow that social media handle at RTA Pickleball Tour. As we also thank our sponsors, Pro Pickleball, and the man behind the RTA who's been the technical director this evening, Magnus Stedal Ferdori. We'll be back in August for the English Open preview. Until then, I'm Nick Hobbis. Thanks for watching, and remember, it is showtime. Good evening and good night from us here